The first topic is the medieval period major historical trends. So first of all we will learn about the medieval period. Before we start discussing the various events and development that took place during the medieval period of Indian history, let us try to develop an insight into the political, social and economic and cultural changes that characterize this period. So before starting what actually happened in the medieval period, we will discuss what are the different political, social, economic and cultural changes which make medieval period different from other periods of history. The initial phase of the period under study was marked by the emergence of regional kingdoms throughout the country. So the initial stage of the medieval periods was started when the different regional kingdoms, that means different language based kingdoms, were occupied throughout our country, India. A powerful group of people rose to prominence during this period, primarily as warriors and kings in northern and central India. So a different, you can say a powerful group of people, they started marching towards our country, and they were mainly warriors and kings in the especially northern and central India. These people came to be called the Rajputs. So the first one who started coming in our India during the initial period of middle period was Rajputs. The Rajputs claimed their descent from either the solar family, that is Surya Vans, or the lunar family, that is Chandra Vans. So we can see that Rajput, their descent, that means they belong to the Surya Vans family or the Chandra Vans family. However, there were four clans which claimed that they had not descended from either of these two families but had originated directly from a sacrificial fire conducted by sage Vasistha on the peak of the present day Mount Abu. So many different types of scholars and the four clans, that means Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Shudras and Vaishyas, they said that Rajput does not belong to either Surya Vans family or the Chandra Vans family. They said that their families were, or their origin was started by a sacrificial fire which was conducted by sage Vasistha on the peak of the Mount Abu. They claimed descent from Agni Kula. So we can say that Rajput belongs to the Agni Kula family. These included the Pratiharas, the Chauhans, that is Chahamanas, the Solankis and the Pawars, that is Parmars. These four clans played an important role in the history of this period. So these four are the parts of the medieval period, and they are the four division of the Rajputs, and they plays an important role. Establishment of the Delhi Sultanate following the arrival of the Turks from the northwest and setting up the Mughal Empire were the two most important political events of the period. So the establishment of Delhi Sultanate followed by the Turk who captured the area in the northwest region, and they started setting up the Mughal Empire, and these two, that is the Delhi Sultanate and the Mughal Empire, were the most important political events of the medieval period. Feudalism, or the royal practices of granting land to nobles in lieu tributes and military help, was a significant political trend of the period. So during the Delhi Sultanate period and the Mughal Empire period, feudalism, that means the royal practice of giving land to the nobles so that they can tribute to the administration and help in military and help to military to run the administration in a better way. The important social trends of the medieval age included the proliferation of new castes, then the rise of tribal groups with their own distinctive identities and custom, and a sharp distinction between rural and urban areas. The flourishing of trade and the introduction of more systematic assessment of land revenue were the significant economic trends of the medieval period. So during the medieval period, different people and different officers were appointed into the rural and urban areas, and they were given the land in a systematic order, and while giving the land, the nobleman or the officers used to charge the land revenue or the taxes in order to run their economic administration in a better way. As you can see in this picture, the practice of land measurement during the medieval period. So in this way they used to measure the land in the medieval period. In the spiritual sphere, this period marked the emergence of new forms of Hinduism and Islam, which were more assimilative in nature. So in a spiritual way, in a cultural way, this period, that means the medieval period, was the new or the beginning of different forms of Hinduism and Islam, and they both were emerging or increasing in a same number. Religious reforms in the form of Bhakti and Sufi movement triggered some of the major development of the period. So different types of religious reform in the form of like Bhakti movement belongs to Hinduism and Sufi movements belong to the Islam. It played a major role in developing the medieval period. In the sphere of the architecture, distinctive style and technologies arose, thereby adding to the grandeur and magnificence of medieval India. So different types of architectures were present. There's their different style of writing, their different technology to arose a building, both in Bhakti and Sufi movement played an important role, and all this happened in the medieval period. In all, widespread cultural diversity was the hallmark of this period, which went on to enrich India's culture and history. So with the help of the cultural diversity means different religions live together, just like Hindu, Muslim, Sikh, Isai, Buddhism, Jainism and so on. It played an important role in increasing the India's culture and history, and it helped us to be united, and we can live in a place together. So, and here in this picture you can see a group of people singing religious songs. So here are the people, they are carrying the different types of you can say equipments, and they are singing religious song in order to promote their culture in the villages, especially in the urban or in the rural areas.